What you aim at determines what you see. If you cannot understand why someone did something, look at the consequences and infer the motivation. Don't ever underestimate the destructive power of sins of omission. You are by no means only what you already know. You are also all that which you could know if you only would. If you betray yourself, if you say untrue things, if you act out a lie, you weaken your character. Sometimes it seems the only people willing to give advice in a relativistic society are those with the least to offer. Worthlessness is the default condition. And you must be cautious, because making your life better means adopting a lot of responsibility, and that takes more effort and care than living stupidly in pain and remaining arrogant, deceitful, and resentful. If a child has not been taught to behave properly by the age of 4, it will forever be difficult for him or her to make friends. Dreams shed light on the dim places. Reason itself has yet to voyage. Did what I want happen? No. Then my aim or my methods were wrong. I still have something to learn. Mark Twain once said, "It's not what we don't know that gets us in trouble. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so." It's appropriate and praiseworthy to associate with people whose lives would be improved if they saw your life improve. If you remember that something bad happened and you can figure out why, then you can try to avoid that bad thing happening again. That's the purpose of memory. It's not to remember the past. It is far better to render beings in your care competent than to protect them. Question for parents: do you want to make your children safe or strong? It is necessary to be strong in the face of death, because death is intrinsic to life. It is for this reason that I tell my students, aim to be the person at your father's funeral that everyone in their grief and misery can rely on. There's a worthy and noble ambition, strength in the face of adversity. You should not overlook the guidelines of your culture. Life is short, and you don't have time to figure everything out on your own. There's some real utility in gratitude. It's also good protection against the dangers of victimhood and resentment. You should never sacrifice what you could be for what you are. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. It took untold generations to get you where you are. A little gratitude might be in order. If you're going to insist on bending the world to your way, you better have your reasons. You can only find out what you actually believe, rather than what you think you believe, by watching how you act. You simply don't know what you believe before that. You are too complex to understand yourself. To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell. Perhaps you are overvaluing what you don't have and undervaluing what you do. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. The successful among us delay gratification. The successful among us bargain with the future. Nietzsche said that a man's worth was determined by how much truth he could tolerate. Always place your becoming above your current being. When the aristocracy catches a cold, as it is said, the working class dies of pneumonia. People organize their brains with conversation. If they don't have anyone to tell their story to, they lose their minds. So listen to yourself and to those with whom you are speaking. Your wisdom then consists not of the knowledge you already have, but the continual search for knowledge, which is the highest form of wisdom. Attend to the day, but aim at the highest good. Now, your trajectory is heavenward. It is better, proverbially, to rule your own spirit than to rule a city. And since we don't know right from wrong, or what is good, just about the most inappropriate thing an adult can do is give a young person advice about how to live. Every bit of learning is a little death. Every bit of new information challenges a previous conception, forcing it to dissolve into chaos before it can be reborn as something better. Beauty shames the ugly, strength shames the weak, death shames the living, and the ideal shames us all. We cannot navigate without something to aim at, and while we are in this world, we must always navigate. There is no enlightened one. There is only the one who's seeking further enlightenment. Proper being is process, not a state, a journey, not a destination. Order is not enough. You can't just be stable and secure and unchanging, because there are still vital and important new things to be learned. Living things die after all, without attention. Life is indistinguishable from effortful maintenance. We are not happy, technically speaking, unless we see ourselves progressing, and the very idea of progression implies value. And I have learned, through painful experience, that nothing is going so badly that it can't be made worse. True thinking is rare, just like true listening. Thinking is listening to yourself. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. It's not what we don't know that gets us in trouble. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so. What shall I do with a lying man? Let him speak, so he may reveal himself. The world is set hard against us of a certainty, but man's inhumanity to man is something even worse. Your nervous system responds in an entirely different manner when you face the demands of life voluntarily. Not everyone who is failing is a victim, and not everyone who is at the bottom wishes to rise. How do you know that your attempts to pull someone up won't instead bring them or you further down?